So now my thoughts on where the Marvel Netflix shows are going to be going from this point on. Now, I've read a lot of articles about this. A lot. I've gotten a very mixed answers onto why the shows have been canceled, and why, and what's going on. There's the Disney Plus streaming service that's due out later in the year, I believe, mid to late year, second or third quarter, something like that. And it's one of those, like, some people are saying that these shows are being canceled because Disney Plus wants to absorb them into their streaming service. And then you get other people that are reporting that Netflix owns the rights to these shows, so Disney can't cancel them. There's some people saying the Netflix show just weren't doing as good as they were, so that's why they're being canceled. Which I would understand with Luke Cage and Iron Fist, because they weren't the best shows to begin with. And there's a lot of things that I've read and I've watched that contradict each other, and it's a very kind of confusing mess. And I'm not here to really kind of figure things out for you. I'm just kind of putting my 2 cents in on what I hope to see, and what I'm kind of thinking I'm seeing, reading in between the lines, my thoughts on it. So from what I understand, the Netflix shows are not like, like Fox and the X-Men or Sony with Spider-Man. Netflix doesn't own the rights to the characters. Marvel owns the rights to the characters. Netflix is producing the shows. So Marvel still has a say in everything, and these shows are part of the MCU. I believe Feige doesn't like them that much, but it doesn't matter. They are officially a part of the MCU. There's scenes in these shows where you can see that they're directly tied to the MCU. They talk about the Battle for New York, stuff like that. There's Hammer Tech in the Iron Fist shows. It's tied in. It's part of the MCU. So there's no question there. So I would imagine Disney would be hesitant to reboot these characters that are already established in the MCU. They're not like DC. Warner Brothers with the DC properties where that's like, oh, we'll just reboot this part. And it's like, you can't reboot part of your universe without rebooting the whole universe. You can't do that. They're not making sense over there. But Marvel has things a little bit better planned out. And I don't think that they're going to be rebooting them. I don't think they're going to be pulling them over to the Disney Plus streaming service, because it is still Disney. If you watch Punisher, just watch The Punisher and sit there and tell me that is going to be Disney friendly. The same goes with like Jessica Jones season 1, where it's dealing with a lot of rape and stuff. It's like it's adult themes. It's not going to fit very well in Disney. Especially on a Disney, they're not calling it Marvel Plus. If they're calling it Marvel Plus, I could see it. I could see them pulling it in. But they're talking Disney Plus. They're not talking about just Marvel properties being on that service. They're talking about Disney being on that service. Again, these are just my thoughts on it. I'm not saying these are facts and this is what's happening. And if you guys know more about this, feel free to comment that below, because I'm interested. I want to see what happens with this. But anyway, so I don't think we're going to be seeing these shows get pulled over to Disney Plus. I think what we're going to see, and Disney's smart. They're not stupid. They're not going to start a war with Netflix. Because one, they would just win. I do think that we're still going to see Disney properties on Netflix, because here's another streaming service that's paying Disney for their stuff. They're making money here. It's not like let's talk about the X-Men, for example. You know, Marvel sold the rights to the X-Men to the Fox, and because of that, Disney was unable to utilize the X-Men properties in their movies. Anything to do with the X-Men properties. That's why like Ultron was made out of vibranium instead of adamantium. You know, it's things like that. There are characters that should have adamantium in the Marvel universe, and instead they have vibranium because adamantium belongs to Fox. You know, they can't tie these universes together. Scarlet Witch was an Inhuman as opposed to a mutant, and you know they've got mutants over there. And it's like that. That is where things get really, really challenging, because again, it's a different scenario. That's when you sell the rights and they own it. They're able to do with them as they wish. Marvel has a very little say of what Fox does with those movies. Apparently they're buying them, so that's going to be great when that happens. I'll have my own video once that does happen on that. I know it's like in the works. I think it's pretty much a done deal, but I don't think the papers have been signed yet. So I don't know. But anyway, so it's like Disney can, and if I remember correctly, the way the contract was written is like Disney can pull Daredevil from the show and pop him into a movie if they choose. I believe that's part of the contract. But you know, but without like actually like losing the character or whatever. But they could just have him guest star on something else if they choose to. That's kind of because it's a Marvel property on Netflix. So again, you know, they'll be making money off of anything Netflix puts out. Netflix is the one that's fronting the money for these shows, and you know, Disney just has a say in the matter. So, being that they're more adult oriented, I would imagine, like, I could easily see Disney sitting there thinking, like, okay, we can put all our adult stuff, like Punisher, maybe the rest of these shows, maybe Moon Knight and Ghost Rider. You know, these are more adult themes. If we were actually to focus a whole show on them, we should push those over to Netflix, and then we could take all the kid-friendly stuff and family-friendly stuff and keep that over on Disney Plus. So I can't see them sitting there like, oh yeah, we're going to cancel this for this, just because we want to pull it over and reboot it. I don't see that happening. It's a possibility, of course. They can do whatever the hell they want to because they're fucking Disney. They own half the world now. But you have to also think, when you're talking Disney Plus, you got to think of the other things that they own, not just Marvel. You know, they have the entire Disney movie and TV show catalog. And I think they own ABC or NBC or something like that. I think it was ABC. One of those other shows. They own that. So they have all of those properties that they can pull over. If they do make this deal with Fox, then they have all of those properties to bring over. I know they're talking about doing more shows on, you know, Marvel-centric shows on Disney Plus. But you got to think of, you know, in terms of like how many other characters are there in the Marvel universe that they can pull from and put on the show without it being weird and awkward by rebooting or moving it over, and keeping a family-friendly feel on the Disney Plus streaming service. So that's where I think they're going to go. I think this is actually going to help the relationship with Netflix more, because they're going to be able to take their adult shows and move it to Netflix. So, where does that leave why they're canceling these shows? Marvel does have a say in the shows, and they got mad at Netflix for Iron Fist Season 2. Because they're like, look, we don't have any more ideas. We've drawn this season out as long as we could. We've got 10 episodes, not 13. And Disney got upset with Netflix for doing that. So, my thought, again, this is just a thought, is that Netflix might be canceling these shows so that they can make a more like an anthology type show. Think about this. Imagine if you're watching, let's for the sake of argument, and conversation, we're going to call this new show Marvel Knights. So Marvel Knights is going to be a new show. Again, I'm just making this up, pulling this out of my ass. But Marvel Knights is this new show on Netflix where it's got maybe 13 to 18 episodes a season. And that season is broken up into 3 smaller, almost anthology type shows, where you get like 6 episodes of Daredevil, 6 episodes of Punisher, and 6 episodes of Jessica Jones. And that's the season. Rather than, tying all these characters together all at once, or beating a dead horse with these fucking long ass seasons. And I enjoy a good, long season of a show. If the show's good, I want that season to keep going. I'm trying to think of a good show. Like Monk. I'm a huge fan of the show Monk. I think their seasons are 16 episodes or so. And it's like, they're so good and so well written and so well acted that by the time you're done with the season, you're like, I kind of want to watch more. Don't end the season. Let's keep going. These shows, by the time it's like, if they cut the filler out of these shows, like, they would really only be 8 to 10 episodes long. It's like, wow, there are some scenes in these things where you're just looking at like, what is going on? Like in Jessica Jones, season 1. Jessica Jones, season 2. You can cut that down to an episode. Hey, the bad guy's your mom. Okay. Oh, someone shot her. Okay, let's go home. It's like, that's all you needed. But Jessica Jones season 1, like, there's where like Kilgrave gets captured by them, and then he gets out, and he has to go get stronger, and they play like even more of a cat and mouse game after the cat and mouse game that they've already played. And then there's the part where he kidnaps Jessica and she's living at her old house with him. It's like, really? Like, that's a lot of stuff that didn't need to happen. Punisher Season 2, for example, like, if you cut all the Russo stuff out, you'd have a really solid 8 episodes that were very intense of him versus the other assassin. That would have been a good show. It was a good show anyway, but it still would have been a good show. And Daredevil Season 3, you could have split that up into a couple of seasons. And that would have been fun. Like, Season 1, let's say, which is the first 6 episodes, you get the Rise of Bullseye. And because of the Rise of Bullseye, people are down everything that happened with Punisher, and that's how Fist gets out. Or not Punisher, Daredevil, and that's how Kingpin gets out. I think that's what I'm hoping is going to happen with this. I don't know. They left these shows on cliffhangers, so I hope we get more. I do hope we get a wrap up of what happened with Iron Fist. Maybe they'll just do movies. I'd like a Netflix original movie. Maybe that's the format they might go with. And that would be good too, because I think that at this point we've already been introduced to the characters. At this point, I would just love to sit back and watch a movie with them. They're good actors. They're all getting better, and the shows are getting stronger for the most part. As long as we have a good villain in the show. Jessica Jones season 2. I'm looking at you, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I think they're gonna go with it. Like I said, I really don't think that Marvel is going to have Netflix cancel these shows just so that they can put them on their streaming service. Because again, I can't see, Punisher popping up on your to watch list on Disney Plus next to like the Goof Troop movie and The Lion King. Kind of fits with Lion King, I guess. It's kind of a violent movie, but not nearly, I'm going to drop this thumb in this drink violent. Yeah, it's just, I can't see it happening. I just can't. I think, and it's like, why would Disney throw away money too? It's like, yeah, you could, it's like people like me who's going to be sitting there like, I probably will get the Disney Plus streaming service. I'm sure they're going to have original content that's on there and other things like their movies. Hell, they have Star Wars too. It's like you'll have the entire Star Wars catalog on there, I'm sure. But let's say, why would they throw away money? There might be people out there like, I don't want the Disney service. I already have Netflix. It's like, oh, well, maybe we could pull all our stuff off of Netflix so that pulls them over more. But it's like, well, a lot of people won't do that. For example, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I love Doctor Who. The newer seasons. Although I haven't watched from season 8 past because they pulled it from Netflix. And they pulled it from Netflix because BBC was trying to... maybe they did or not. I don't know. I didn't really look too hard into it. But they were trying to build their own streaming service where if you want to watch some of these British shows, you have to buy their service. Well, my decision was, I guess I won't be watching Doctor Who anymore because I don't want to pay for a whole streaming service for one show because there's nothing else on there that I'm interested in. So there's going to be a lot of people that are like, I don't want to drop Netflix because, Disney Plus has their own streaming service. And that's one thing that we all, as people in this day and age, need to really put our foot down with is like, if like say CBS or let's say the WB, say they make their own stream. I think they were making their own, like a DC something streaming service, but their shows are still on other streaming servers. But if we let these channels make their own streaming services and they all get split up, then we're going to be paying more than we were paying for cable. Because, $10 for HBO Plus, $10 for Disney Plus, $10 for WB On Demand. Then you got the BBC, then you got Hulu, and then you got Netflix. And right there, we're talking at least $70, $80 right there for all those services if you want to watch all these shows. We got to put our foot down so that these shows go back to Hulu and Netflix so you can just watch the two streaming Netflix or two streaming shows without having to pay up the ass. It's like, like let's say Walking Dead, for example. You know what? Yes, AMC has their own streaming service where you can watch it the day of or something like that. I ain't paying for that. I will just sit here and wait for Netflix to have the next season on. I'm patient. I don't care. And that's the way the Disney Plus service should be working with Netflix. Like, look, our stuff will be on our service first, but we'll also have it on Netflix because Netflix pays us for this. So they're going to get money no matter where you go. It's not like they're not going to get paid because Netflix has the rights to, let's say, The Lion King. Kids watch Lion King on Netflix, kids watch Lion King on Disney Plus. Disney's going to make money off of it. Either way. So I know there are some companies out there that are very short-sighted and will do stuff like that, but Disney's not stupid. They're not going to do that. I honestly do not think that they will sit there and just be like, look, we own everything. Everything that we own is only going to be available on our stuff. Someday, I could easily see them, but that'll be the day after they buy Hulu, they buy Netflix, they buy AMC, because if they're going to buy Fox, they've already got Marvel under their belt and Star Wars. They've got everything. They're gonna own it all. But until that day, I don't think they're dumb enough to cut all ties with all these other services, because again, they're making money off of this. They don't need to fight. You know, they're just gonna get money. They're gonna get paid no matter what. And like I said, these adult shows will not fit well in the Disney format. So I could see them putting even more shows on there. And another good argument towards this was that in Iron Fist Season 2, Moon Knight was actually supposed to be in that show. But Netflix decided at the last minute that it was going to be too many characters, so they cut him out. Now, that was a Netflix decision, not a Marvel decision. But Marvel's over there like, yeah, go ahead, use this character. So why would they be sitting there like with these shows that they know they're about to cancel, letting them utilize new characters when they're just going to pull a plug? Now, they're probably sitting there like, you know, like, yes, we want these adult-themed characters on Netflix so that we don't have to deal with it, and you're paying us to do it. But anyway, so those are my thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts? If anybody else knows more about this, please post below. Like I said, I've seen arguments on every single which way there is, but let me know what you guys think. And are you excited for Disney Plus? Because I kind of am. We'll see. We'll see as we get closer. I mean, we're still a ways out. So, I'm dreading Jessica Jones Season 3, though. I will tell you that. Which is really sad because I was really excited for Season 2. Yeah.